Tonight, a break in the case.
Arson is not a victimless crime.
How many people are facing charges following a string of alleged arsons and extortion attempts? Also tonight, up in flames.
As soon as I got on the vehicle, I prayed.
A northern community devastated after fire consumes its only school. Plus, put away the plastic.
It was a very hard, difficult decision.
How much one business says it stands to save as it decides to go cash only.
CTV News. Live from downtown Winnipeg with Marilee Caruso.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Pay up or watch your business burn. That's the choice several business owners in the city's North End were given this summer in a string of extortion and arson attacks. And tonight, police believe they know who's behind those crimes. CTV's Danton Unger is standing by live tonight with the details. Danton, what did police reveal about this investigation today?
Well, Marilee, they've identified a handful of suspects alleging they were sent to threaten and extort local business owners. The weapon of choice, arson. An employee at this convenience store on Selkirk Avenue says back in July, someone lit a fire near the back door. Now, police allege it was all part of an arson and extortion ring.
During this investigation, it was learned that a group of individuals, some from Winnipeg and others from Eastern Canada, were sent to threaten and extort local business owners using arson as a weapon.
On Tuesday, police identified 7 suspects, 5 of whom have been arrested and are facing various charges including arson and extortion. 2 suspects remain on the loose. Farnham Nabil is wanted on 4 counts of conspiracy to commit an indictable offense, and Jermaine Weeks is wanted on 2 counts of extortion.
We're coming for you. Simple. We're not going to stop.
Police have linked fires at 2 Selkirk Avenue convenience stores and a warehouse on Spruce Street, as well as a theft at a Portage Avenue business. Investigators allege the owners of 3 other convenience stores on Selkirk Avenue and Main Street were extorted for money or threatened with extortion in exchange for protection from arson. Inspector Jennifer McKinnon says these crimes all happened in July, and in each case, there's a common link.
They're all South Asian owned. So we can't look past that.
However, she says it's unclear at this time if that's why they were targeted. Now, these crimes resemble other cases Winnipeg has seen. In November last year, 2 masked men walked into this Logan Avenue convenience store, forced the employee out at gunpoint, and then lit the store on fire. The owner says he had previously been threatened with arson. And in July, someone broke into Tita's Thai restaurant on Donald Street and tried lighting it on fire. Police are not linking these cases and no one has been charged, but the investigations are ongoing.
The business owners should know that it is a priority for the police service. We have not forgotten about them. We just need the time to do what we do.
And meanwhile, Winnipeg's Mayor Scott Gillingham says,
we won't be intimidated as a city. If people think that they can, engage in extortion attempts, our police will investigate, we will make arrests, and we'll hold people accountable.
Now, police said these arrests mark an important progress, but the investigation is not over yet. Anyone with information about the 2 outstanding suspects, Farham Nabil and Jermaine Weeks, is asked to contact police or make an anonymous tip to Crime Stoppers. And of course, the charges have not yet been tested in court.
All right, thanks for this, Danton. Roughly 200 more people are being asked to leave a Northern First Nation amid a water crisis brought on by a days-long power outage. Pimachikamak Cree Nation Chief David Monius says contractors have identified 73 more homes needing extensive repairs. About 4,400 people have already been forced out, and Monius says these additional homes are now uninhabitable due to electrical issues and damage from flooding and frozen pipes. Roughly 1,300 homes in the community were damaged during a December power outage. Chief Monius was scheduled to meet with the federal government today to address the next steps in fixing the community's sewage and water treatment plants. A northern Manitoba First Nation is scrambling tonight, trying to find a new place to educate 380 students from the community. Fire destroyed the only school on Barons River First Nation this morning. It's located about 325 kilometers north of Winnipeg. With the latest on the loss of the K-9 school is CTV's Joseph Bernacki. So, Joseph, I understand you spoke to a witness today who actually saw this blaze.
Marilee, members of the First Nation woke up to smoke just after 3 a.m. this morning as flames engulfed the community's K-9 school building. I spoke to an eyewitness, as you mentioned, who says she's tried desperately to get some help.
I prayed so hard for the school not to burn down for the kids' sake.
April Swain says she jumped into her car after seeing on social media that Barons River School was on fire. She says she quickly got a hold of family to help find water tank operators just after 4 a.m. By the time they got to the scene, the fire had quickly spiraled out of control.
The fire was on the other side of the school, so we couldn't see it. And as soon as the wind picked up, it just went up in flames.
It was a place where she and her family went to learn over the years. She even worked there as an educational assistant years ago and still knows many of her former colleagues.
When you work there, you become family. You meet a lot of coworkers, and it's just devastating to see that school burning. Now
a central part of the community is lost. It's the second time in just over a year that Barons River has faced loss due to fire. This blaze took the First Nations Community Arena, which was right next to the school. On Tuesday, Barons River Chief and Council say they are working with Frontier School Division to help find 380 students a place to learn. They say, in quote, all options for temporary classroom space and alternative learning arrangements are being explored to ensure students can resume their education as soon as possible. Swain says it may be a long time before things get back to normal for teachers as well.
So I feel for them too. Like, all their hard work is gone, and I don't know when they'll see the students again.
Swain says the nearest school with road access is Bloodvein First Nation, about an hour south. She hopes Chief and Council will find something in their community for kids to finish the school year.
Joseph, do we know what caused this fire?
Marilee, we reached out to RCMP for an update today. They say the night guard on scene observed the school filling up with smoke after 3 a.m. Officers say attempts were made to extinguish the fire in the crawl space by local fire departments on scene. The blaze unfortunately grew too big and could not be controlled in time to save the structure. Barons River RCMP say no one was inside, no injuries are reported, and the cause of the fire does not appear to be suspicious. An investigation is ongoing.
All right, thanks for this, Joseph. An update now to a story we brought you last night. The 91-year-old woman who was missing since Sunday and the subject of a silver alert has been found. Police provided no other details. The votes have been tallied, and tonight a dozen of the city's snow clearing machines are sporting new names, all submitted and voted on by you, Winnipeggers. The 12 winning picks from more than 1,700 submissions include the names up on your screen: Dancing Blade, Melt Stiegel, Emperor Plow Patine, Kevin Shovel Snow Off, Sled Penner, and Grady Oliveira. As you may have noticed, half of them are plays on notable people in the local sports community. Then there's also Greg. The reason we're told is, quote, Greg is the cranky old man snowplow who keeps the other snowplows in line, but with an unnecessary attitude. Every story needs a villain.
I was out in the community, whether I was at the grocery store, people were coming, or wherever it will be, people came up to me with names and ideas as well. I was getting text messages from people suggesting names. I want you to know I had nothing to do with choosing the names. I didn't even vote, just to say neutral as the mayor of the city.
Classrooms also submitted their favorite team names for a group of sidewalk clearing machines. Those submissions included Storm Walkers, Snow Patrols, and the Snow Busters. But the winning submission came from Ecole Van Bellingham, Burger Kings. You'll be able to see all of these machines bearing their new names out on the streets very soon. Not too soon, though, Colleen. No, not a lot of snow in the forecast. But I just want to make it clear, Colleen and I had nothing to do with naming Greg the grouchy old man snowplow.
No, but I do
for all the
find
Greg
it very
viewers out
amusing.
there.
Yes.
Yeah, for all the Gregs out there tonight, Just
not on us.
Just some fun. Just the kids
little,
just having some fun.
The kids are having fun out there. Yeah, so clever. We're so punny, aren't we, here in Winnipeg? Great names, all of them. Lots of fun. Well, yeah, those plows won't be out tonight because, as you saw, it was nice to see that sun shining over not just Winnipeg, but over much of southern Manitoba. That means we have a clear night ahead tonight. A little bit of a different scenario up in the north, but overall pretty quiet weather. Tomorrow, hit the repeat button. It will be a lot like today here in Winnipeg. But when we get to the weekend, a big difference from the weekend just passed. I can't wait to show you that. Let's take a look at the CTV Live Eye. It is brought to you by Bathfitter, exclusive home of the PermaFit solution. In Winnipeg right now, it's -22 with just a few clouds. With those winds out of the west at 11 kilometers an hour, the wind chill feels like -30. The pressure is rising, and the humidity right now merrily is 76%.
Thanks, Colleen. St. Boniface Hospital could become the third healthcare facility to be graylisted by the Manitoba Nurses Union.
I think it just gets to the point where nurses just say, like, you know, it's not worth my life to be in a facility that doesn't provide a safe workspace for me.
The board gave unionized nurses at the hospital permission to vote on whether to graylist the hospital on Monday. It advises nurses not to apply or take shifts at a facility due to an unsafe work environment. Health Sciences Center and Thompson General Hospital have already been graylisted. The latest request follows the sexual assault of a nurse in the parkade in November and other safety concerns.
It's those individuals that are front and center with these patients that are the ones that are blamed or yelled at or hit or spit on. And unfortunately, nursing and other frontline workers take the brunt of it.
A spokesperson with the Winnipeg Regional Health Authority says St. Boniface Hospital has put several measures in place over the past 2 years to enhance safety. It includes adding 16 institutional safety officers, installing key card access into the Taché stairwell, improving lighting, and adding more mirrors. They say St. Boniface Hospital is also rolling out the Shared Health Safe app this week, which provides emergency notifications, quick connections to security, and a safety toolbox. A family-owned restaurant is making a bold move to try and save thousands in fees. The small-town business announced it's going cash only to keep prices down. But in this digital day and age, it's a move getting some mixed reactions. CTV's Harrison Shin spoke with the owner in Morden today.
Cash tills sliding out and beef patties on the grill. You might be able to hear the cash till sound more often at Moment in Time Neighborhood Grill here in Morden. That's because owner Alex Kansky made a bold move to go cash only, not accepting card payments. He says it's because of the fees.
For us, it's been about $7,500 a year. So next February is 3 years for us, so that's just over $22,000.
Kansky announced the move last Thursday. So far, he says reactions from customers have been mixed.
I've received an email just telling me that they think it's a really bad idea and that they probably won't be coming because that's all they carry is cards.
Customers like Josh Nichols says it's worth it to go get cash.
I was hungry and I really wanted to eat here, so I made the effort. Now that I know, I'll just always have cash on me.
Michelle Auger is the Director of Trade and Marketplace with the Canadian Federation of Independent Business. She says the decision to drop card payments is an interesting one, but she isn't surprised.
We're at a time right now where all of operating business lines, they're all increasing. And so there has to be a trade-off for some small business owner. They're looking at where can we save money. And if that's an option, it seems like that is the business decision that they are making at this time.
Kansky adds he will continue to try to keep his prices down. Harrison Shin, CTV News, Morden, Manitoba.
We're getting an inside look tonight on the demolition and redevelopment of Portage Place. True North purchased the mall back in 2024. The $650 million project got underway this past fall, and the focus over the next few months is getting deconstruction work for the 12-story healthcare tower finished before the building phase can start by summer. True North says it will be followed by work on the 15-story housing tower.
There'll be affordable and deeply affordable units available in the space, and we hope to see construction start on it later this winter. I can't give you an exact date.
Portions of the shopping center remain open to the public, and there is some good news for the skateboard community tonight. The skate park is moving to 323 Portage Avenue during construction. True North actually hopes to have that temporary location open by the end of March. Still to come tonight, the shifting makeup of Manitoba. How Statistics Canada says the province's population is likely to change in the years to come. Plus, the world inches closer to catastrophe. The so-called doomsday clock just ticked closer to midnight. Those stories and more when we return. Taking a look at the markets tonight, crude oil added $1.76. The loonie jumped to 73.42 cents U.S. Gold futures closed flat. The TSX also saw little change. The Dow Jones lost 409 points, while the Nasdaq closed 215 points higher. Seniors could make up 1/5 of Manitoba's population by 2050, according to new data from Statistics Canada. Under a so-called medium growth scenario, the proportion of Manitobans over the age of 65 could rise from 17% to 20% in the next 25 years. At the same time, the proportion of Manitobans under 14 years of age could drop 1.5 percentage points to 17.5%. The ratio of those two age groups to the rest of the population, known as the demographic dependency ratio, would grow from 53.6 to 56.6 per 100. Overall, StatsCan projects Manitoba could reach a population of 1.58 million by 2050 under a low growth scenario, 1.81 million under a medium growth scenario, and 2.09 million under a high growth scenario. Mark Carney says he's holding firm to his speech at the World Economic Forum in Davos, despite claims the Prime Minister aggressively walked back some of his remarks in a phone call with the U.S. President. CTV's Michael Couture has more on the war of words between the two leaders.
I meant what I said in Davos.
Prime Minister Mark Carney stood by his speech during a phone call with U.S. President Donald Trump. The 30-minute conversation covered Arctic security, Venezuela, and Canada's agreement with China.
I explained to him what we're doing, 12 new deals on 4 continents in 6 months. He was impressed. And what we intend to do going forward, as well as the opportunity to, of course, move forward on CUSMA.
Let's talk about the Prime Minister, or if you prefer, Governor of Canada.
12 hours earlier, the U.S. Treasury Secretary says he was on that call and characterized the conversation differently.
He spoke to Prime Minister Carney, who was very aggressively walking back some of the unfortunate remarks he made at Davos.
Asked specifically about that.
So you didn't walk back your comments? No.
But there was no public readout of the conversation between Trump and Carney, something the Conservatives are criticizing. Michael Chong wrote on social media, "It is unacceptable that Canadians and journalists learned of this recent call from American media." Besson's comments come days after Trump threatened to impose 100% tariffs on Canada if the government signs a free trade agreement with China, something Carney says he's not pursuing. Political analysts believe the current strategy is to keep calm.
Trump is going to make noise. He's going to flash. He's going to swear. He's going to stamp his feet. Just take a breath, take a moment. Chances are the storm will pass, and it has.
The Prime Minister says he reiterated in his conversation with the President that Canada is responding to the change in U.S. trade policy by building new partnerships abroad, including with China. And Carney says Trump understood that. Michael Couture, CTV News, Ottawa.
Donald Trump appears to have changed his tone on Minneapolis after a second fatal shooting by federal agents. The U.S. president is sounding more conciliatory, reassigning enforcement officials and calling for an honest investigation into the shooting death of nurse Alex Preddy. Armando Garcia reports from Minneapolis.
President Trump today shuffling immigration operations after Border Patrol agents killed Alex Preddy in Minneapolis.
I want to see the investigation. I'm going to be watching over it. I want a very honorable and honest investigation. I have to see it myself.
Border's our Tom Homan here today, replacing Border Patrol Commander-at-Large Greg Bovino, meeting with the Minneapolis mayor and Minnesota governor. Today, steps away from a growing memorial, state investigators at the crime scene up on ladders, looking at markings on a wall above what appear to be bullet holes and inspecting a nearby traffic camera. According to audio reviewed by an independent expert, there were 10 shots fired at Preddy in 5 seconds. In the hours after the shooting, Bovino accused Preddy of wanting to massacre agents. White House advisor Stephen Miller called Preddy a domestic terrorist and an assassin, and Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem accusing Preddy of domestic terrorism. President Trump dismissing calls from Democrats for her to be fired.
I think she's doing a very good job.
Preddy's sister releasing a statement. Hearing disgusting lies spread about my brother is absolutely gut-wrenching.
What do you say, Mr. President, to Alex Preddy's family?
Well, I'm looking at that whole situation. I love everybody. I love all of our people. I love his family. And it's a very sad situation.
And Border Patrol officers involved in that fatal shooting were wearing body cameras. The agency says that footage is preserved, but it's unclear if the public will get to see it. Reporting in Minneapolis, Armando Garcia, ABC News.
The U.S. says it will send ICE agents to the Winter Olympics in Milan. Italy's opposition party held a protest today on word ICE agents will be part of the American security team. Milan's mayor says ICE is not welcome and called the group, quote, a militia that kills. The United States is now dealing with extreme cold. Earlier, heavy snow and freezing rain affected millions of people in states as far south as Tennessee, Arkansas, Louisiana, and Texas.
This was unprecedented. This is just a huge ice storm.
Even when it has snowed and ice here, this is, I think, the worst I've ever seen it in the past almost decade of me being here.
At least 35 deaths are being blamed on the storm. The storm also brought up to 50 centimeters of snow to the plains and northeast. Today, extreme cold warnings were issued from Texas through to Florida and north to Pennsylvania. A science-oriented advocacy group is warning Earth is closer to destruction than it's ever been.
It is now 85 seconds to midnight.
The bulletin of the atomic scientists advanced its doomsday clock to 85 seconds to midnight today. The group cited the risk of nuclear war, climate change, potential misuse of biotechnology, and the increasing use of artificial intelligence without adequate controls as it made its annual announcement. Last year, the clock was advanced to 89 seconds to midnight.
Last year, we warned that the world was perilously close to catastrophe and that countries needed to change course towards international cooperation and action on the most critical existential risks. Unfortunately, the opposite has happened. Rather than heed this warning, major countries became even more aggressive, adversarial, and nationalistic.
The group said the clock could be turned back if leaders and nations work together to address existential risks. Today is International Holocaust Remembrance Day. Survivors visited the Auschwitz concentration camp memorial site to commemorate the 81st anniversary of the liberation of the Nazi camp. Former prisoners laid flowers and wreaths at the execution wall, also known as the Wall of Death, where German forces fatally shot thousands of people. About 6 million Jews and millions of others were killed by the Nazis during the Holocaust. New life tonight for pieces of our city's past. We're learning about plans to build new housing units in the heart of Winnipeg.
To create a 24/7 urban downtown, we must press forward in reviving vacant historic buildings, reimagining underused surface parking lots, and shaping a vibrant, walkable density that supports a population twice what it is today.
Centre Venture is spearheading plans to convert 4 vacant heritage buildings into housing. The properties listed are St. Charles Hotel, Ma's Garage, 290 Gary Street, and Alloway Lofts. That's where Johnny G's restaurant was before it was gutted by fire last summer. In total, 297 new housing units are coming to the downtown area.
The presence of people is critical to safety. It's critical to supporting economic growth and development. You need people, residents, to support local businesses. So it's really, really vital that we have more people living in the downtown. And right now, a credit to all the investors, we are seeing that momentum really take shape here in downtown.
106 of the units announced today will be affordable housing. Centre Venture is spending more than $4.5 million on these projects. It's part of its ambitious plan to build 750 new downtown units each year. Manitoba teams are holding a strong edge at the Scotties Tournament of Hearts. We're going to have the latest when we return.
Well, a long-range forecast for Winnipeg, well, that's the 7-day forecast. That's not the long-range forecast. I'm going to have to get that to you. We're having a little problem with our computer right now, but I'll tell you what. I told you about the weekend forecast, right? How's -9 for you? Saturday and Sunday, granted, it will be on the cloudy side, but not at all the frigid temperatures that we just experienced over this past weekend.
Manitoba's dominance at the Scotties Tournament of Hearts continues today. The three teams only have one loss between them.
Oh, man.
Kimley's Carrie Arson, wearing Team Canada colors, suffered its first defeat last night, but it was at the hands of fellow Manitoban Caitlin Laws. The final score in this one was 9-4 after just 8 ends. Those teams were both back in action during the afternoon draw. Arson posted a 10-4 win over Saskatchewan's Jolene Campbell. They now sit at 5 wins, 1 loss. Meantime, Laws Rink took a decisive 9-4 victory over the team from Yukon. It's at the top of Pool A with a 6-0 record. And Team's Beth Peterson is trying to keep its perfect record going. It will take on Prince Edward Island tonight in the evening draw. Another familiar face is returning to Winnipeg for the 2026 CFL season.
Wants to throw here. Can't go. Pressure right up the middle. Kyrie Wilson gets there.
The Blue Bombers have re-signed linebacker Kyrie Wilson to a 1-year contract extension. The 33-year-old finished last season with 51 tackles, 3 sacks, and 2 forced fumbles. Wilson is entering his 9th season as a Bomber and has 2 Grey Cup championships on his resume.
CTV Skywatch weather brought to you by South Beach Casino and Resort. Visit southbeachcasino.ca.
All right, Colleen is shaking up the weather computers and is ready to go.
Turns out it was operator error.
It happens. It happens.
Unfortunately, yes, it does sometimes. But you know what? I wanted to tell you all about those temperatures coming up this weekend. So look, I'm going to show you again. Here's a little. Oh, you know what? I'm still jumping around tonight. I've got to settle down. The long-range forecast. Well, look, -19 is a little cool for this time of year. Not as cold as the last few days, but a mix of sun and cloud on Thursday. Abundant sunshine Friday. Then a nice jump in temperatures. Yeah, it clouds over, but we go up to -9 degrees. That's above normal for this time of year. And even into early next week, Monday, it will be -9. Let's take a look at what it feels like right now, though. Back to the present time. -30 is the current wind chill value in Kenora, but you can see back in Manitoba, really in the northern and southern halves of the province tonight. Similar wind chill values in the upper -20s and low -30s. Pretty quiet weather over our region. Not a lot happening. A few flurries flying here and there, more so up in the northeast tonight. Not so much down here in the south. Pretty clear, at least to start off the evening. Overnight, we'll see a little bit of cloud buildup. Now, areas closer to Churchill, more outright snow and blowing snow. So that's where there's any kind of action to speak of weather-wise tonight. Lows will drop down into the -20s here in the south, as I'll show you. Now, tomorrow afternoon, bright and sunny, as I mentioned earlier. Tomorrow pretty much hit the repeat button from what we experienced today. Sunshine and temperatures a little cool for this time of year, but overall pretty tolerable winter weather conditions. Now we get overnight and into early Thursday morning. We clear out pretty much almost entirely across the province. Lots of sunshine for most areas and east into northwestern Ontario as well. For tonight, we drop down to -25. Clear start to the evening now. Partly cloudy overnight. Winds at their strongest really this evening out of the west at 20 kilometers an hour. They will diminish mid-evening onward. They'll shift tomorrow morning, come out of the northwest at about 15 kilometers an hour. Still around -24. Mostly sunny on the way to a high of -19 in the afternoon. The winds pick up a little bit in the afternoon. For perspective, the normal high now for this time of year is closer to -12. Flurries tonight across much of the northeast, and as I mentioned, Churchill, more of an outright snowfall and blowing snow and some pretty strong winds, but overnight lows not nearly as cold as they've been. -22 there. Thompson, a few flurries tonight down to -26 degrees. A few more tomorrow, a high of -27. You saw more of an outright snowfall for areas further into northeastern Manitoba. Across the northwest tonight, tonight, partly cloudy, a little colder overnight lows between -27 and -29. Sunshine or a mix of sun and cloud for most areas. Now, Norway House and Norway House Cree Nation, you'll see some sunshine in the morning, turning to a few flurries in the afternoon with a high of -17 degrees. In the southwest tonight, well, cold. Down to -28 for Brandon and Neepawa. Just a few clouds, pretty clear for the most part. We'll get as cold as -29 for Swan River. Dauphin down to -26. Similar sky conditions again around the region tomorrow. Abundant sunshine for the most part. Highs right across the board of -19, including in Dauphin and Brandon. Winnipeg in the southeast tonight for the most part, partly cloudy overnight. A little cloudy over Sprague, down to -26 there. Winnipeg really in many areas in the southeast, down to around -26. Sunshine or a mix of sun and cloud tomorrow. Winnipeg and surrounding regions up to -18, -19, and in northwestern Ontario, overnight lows in the mid-20s and cloudy. Clouds stick around for you tomorrow with highs between -18 and -19 for your Wednesday. Jeanette set this first photo in of that snow blowing around across the highway. That is out in the RM of Lorne. And this next photo is from Joy. Now, this lady, her name is Lilbit. She's 16 and a half years young. That was taken here in Winnipeg. Send us your weather photos by email to winnipegweather@ctv.ca.
Plastic waste is everywhere, and we'll tell you about the impact it could be having on your health now and going forward if nothing is done. 2026 is emerging as the breakout year for AI in telecommunications, and Canada's largest telecom company says it's poised to take the country forward. Mirko Bibic is the president and CEO of BCE and Bell Canada, which is the parent company of CTV Winnipeg, and he joins me now in studio to talk more about that and other news making headlines in the company, including the latest on Crave's breakout hit show, Heated Rivalry.
Absolutely.
Welcome to Winnipeg.
Well, thank you. It's great to be here. I always love coming here.
You know, let's start with AI because I know this is a topic of conversation in every household. What are the plans to harness this technology in the year ahead?
Well, AI is absolutely transformational. It's about as transformational as the internet was decades ago, and it's not going away. So, I mean, the magic here is to lean in and to use it to make ourselves better. So internally at Bell, it's about equipping our employees and our customers with the tools using AI so that they can, you know, as our team members can serve customers better, or customers can serve themselves better, because we have a number of self-serve tools, and we're also building the largest cluster of purpose-built AI data centers across the country to enable our enterprise customers, so public sector, government, large companies, to use AI. And we're really excited to be leaning into this, and it's one of our strategic priorities for growth at the company.
You've really become a prominent voice advocating for Canadian digital sovereignty. What are you doing to protect the data of Canadians, you know, in the midst of all of this?
Yeah, and certainly given the geopolitical considerations and everything that's going on in the world, and recognizing that ultimately at the core of everything in terms of economic development, data is at the heart of it, and it's really important to be able to protect our data, to make sure that, you know, the technologies that we use and the data that powers those technologies is in Canada, controlled by Canadians. And so when you're with Bell, we can assure you that the data, your data, is secure, stays in Canada, only moves within Canada, and only Canadians have kind of governance over that data. So it's a very, very, very important issue in these sensitive times. And frankly, if we take a step back, we should want to build a technology ecosystem that's fully Canadian, built by Canadians, for Canadians, and that's what we're trying to build.
You mentioned it's a sensitive topic. It really is. We've seen, you know, the trade war kind of heat up once again. I'm curious how, you know, these trade discussions, these tariff disputes, how does that play into the decision making you have to make as far as, you know, investments, expansion, that sort of thing?
So in terms of the actual, you know, the tariff issues, they don't affect BCE very directly. You know, the things we do are largely in Canada, and so therefore the tariffs don't impact us. We are a large internet provider in the United States as well, but then we don't have tariff implications there. But really, when you come down to, you know, all these geopolitical issues, what we ought to want as a country is essentially two things. One is we want to make sure that no one else can turn Canada off in terms of having access to core technology. And two, we do have to recognize that we also don't want to disconnect ourselves from global technology either. So there is a way to rely on global world-leading technologies while making sure we have a robust Canadian technology system as well.
All right, now to the question everybody wants me to really ask you, and that is around heated rivalry. Right. We know season 2 is a ways away right now, but there are rumors swirling that we could potentially see a standalone episode, maybe a special before then. What can you tell us?
Well, I'll just say stay tuned. I'm sure everyone's waiting in anticipation. It is remarkable, though, the success of that show. It is a global sensation, and it's a kudos. It's a credit to everybody. Of course, the producers of the show, the creators of the show, but it's a credit to everyone at Bell Media for believing in the show. And it shows that our strategy to invest in our own content, so that we can show it on our own services like Crave, and also sell this content internationally, is working. I mean, that is our strategy. Invest more in our own content, sell it internationally, and make sure that everything we do is available digitally, because ultimately that's what the viewer wants. The viewer wants great content. That's a great example on the platforms that are easy to use like Crave, and that's what we're delivering for our viewers.
This is a Crave original, as you mentioned, Canadian content. I mean, it's set in lots of locations. Ottawa's looking to capitalize on it. It's based around hockey. It's not just a hit here, it's a global hit. Yeah. So much so that, Canadian producers are really now looking at Crave as maybe a beacon of hope when it comes to Canadian content, and seeing that resurgence. Does this success of this show change maybe how you look to invest or green light shows in the future?
It's going to be a big catalyst for Canadian content. In December, over the holiday period, the top 10 shows viewed on Crave were Canadian, and 57 of the top 100 were Canadian. We make amazing content. A lot of those were Crave originals. We want to produce more Canadian content, and we want to make it available to Canadians, of course, but also we want to make the best of our content available to viewers all over the world. And I think Heated Rivalry is a beacon for that. We're really proud of the show. I'm proud of Crave, the team. Crave is actually growing so fast, and it's Heated Rivalry, but it's so much more. In Quebec, there was a show earlier last year, Empathie, which was a #1 hit in France. So, we're doing a lot of great stuff.
Speaking of Canadian content, I do have you here at CTV Winnipeg, so I got to talk to you about local news. What can our viewers expect as far as the commitment to, local news broadcasting?
Well, we are across the country. If you kind of add up all our viewers on 6 o'clock news, we pull in more than 1 million viewers each and every night. We are the go-to place for news. So, in that regard, local news is super important. It's so important we've got it now on. We put our news on Crave.
Yes.
So I think those are a couple of very important proof points that shows the importance we place on news. So at Bell Media, our strategy is really around premium content, Crave, premium sports, TSN, where we're #1, and news on digital platforms. And we are now the #1 digital news publisher in the country. I mean, think about that. So Canadians look to CTV at 6 o'clock for their local news, and they also look to us digitally across our CTV News platforms for news as it breaks. So very important.
Well, we loved having you here for a visit. Thanks so much for the update. The threat to human health posed by plastic will skyrocket in the coming years unless the world does something to address the issue. That is the conclusion from a team of British and French researchers. They're the first to estimate the number of healthy years to life lost due to plastic worldwide. Under a business-as-usual scenario, they project the number to more than double, from 2.1 million in 2016 to 4.5 million in 2040. Planet heating, greenhouse gas emissions from plastic production had the biggest impact, followed by air pollution and toxic chemicals. And they note their model doesn't include other ways plastic harms health, such as microplastics or chemicals leaching out of food packaging. Vitamin D is a critical part of overall health and can be acquired through safe sun exposure. But when it's cold outside, experts say maintaining proper levels gets harder. Low levels of vitamin D can lead to symptoms such as fatigue, bone pain, muscle weakness, and mood changes. The CDC says vitamin D deficiency may also raise the risk of falling. And at this time of year, so can the weather.
We don't want them to fracture a bone, so it's important to have strong, healthy bones, especially in the winter.
Experts say you can help maintain vitamin D levels by going outside for about 15 minutes most days of the week, or a little longer if an underlying medical condition prevents proper absorption. The nutrient can also be found naturally in foods like eggs, fatty fish, as well as fortified cereals and juices.
Medical Watch is brought to you by Manukin Koster Denture Clinic.
Ain't no use in shaking hands.
A good day for Manitoba artists. Up next in Spotlight, we'll tell you which local talent landed Juno Award nominations today.
Spotlight, sponsored by the Casinos of Winnipeg, presenting the incredibly hip and the Stoneheads.
The nominations are out for the 2026 Juno Awards, and several Manitobans have made the list.
Only stories in this town. There's no fortune to be found.
William Prince has received a nod for Contemporary Roots Album of the Year. It's his 6th Juno nomination. Now, he won the category back in 2024 and 2017. Prince will also perform at the show. Begonia earned her 3rd Juno nomination in the Adult Alternative Album of the Year category. The Winnipeg Jazz Orchestra is up for Jazz Album of the Year Group. Former Manitoban Sebastian Gaskin is nominated for Contemporary Indigenous Artist or Group of the Year. Karen Kozowski for Jack Richardson Producer of the Year, and Haley Jean Penner for Songwriter of the Year Non-Performer. Comedian and this year's Golden Globes host Nikki Glaser is proving so popular she's added a 2nd show to her stop in Winnipeg this summer.
I think some moms think that if you don't have kids, you're a selfish person. And I get that. I just don't feel like devoting my free time to something that could marry a DJ. I just think that's reckless.
Now, if you missed buying tickets for the August 7th show of Glaser's The Stunning Tour, you are in luck. She's now added a 2nd show at Centennial Concert Hall a day earlier, August 6th at 7 p.m. Tickets for that new performance go on sale Friday at 10 a.m. through the Concert Hall's box office. A pair of Grammy winners are teaming up on a global tour, and you can catch them here in Winnipeg later this year.
And I'm so sick of love songs, so tired of tears.
Neo and Akon will bring their Nights Like This tour to Canada Life Centre on Tuesday, June 23rd. They're promising a celebration of era-defining hits, sing-along anthems, and club classics during a unique back-and-forth set. Tickets go on sale Friday at 10 a.m. through Ticketmaster. The nominees for the British Academy Film Awards were revealed this morning. Paul Thomas Anderson's action thriller One Battle After Another is the frontrunner, securing 14 BAFTA nominations. Ryan Coogler's vampire epic Sinners is close behind with 13 nods. Other top contenders are Chloe Zhao's Hamnet and George Safdie's Ping Pong Odyssey Marty Supreme with 11 apiece. The winners will be announced at a February 22nd ceremony in London, hosted by actor Alan Cumming. BTS's planned concerts in Mexico have reached a presidential level. Following a quick sellout last week, Claudia Scheinbaum used her Monday briefing to advocate for more BTS concert dates in May. Now, she sent a letter to South Korea's Prime Minister requesting additional dates. She also reached out to concert organizers, but the promoters said it's currently not possible. The group is back with a world tour and a new album titled Are We Wrong? Your Tuesday primetime lineup starts at 7 with Will Trent. High Potential is at 8. The Big Bang Theory comes next at 9. And Best Medicine wraps things up at 10. It's all right here tonight on CTV.
There's many great films that have been created by documentary filmmakers in Winnipeg and Manitoba.
And the world is now finding out how our stories are being given a global platform.
Women's clothing provided by RW & Company. Salon services provided by S&T Spa Salon.
Just a few clouds over Winnipeg. It's minus 22 degrees, but even with those light winds out of the west at 11 kilometers an hour, the wind chill feels closer to minus 30. The actual air temperature, well, the highest temperature today was minus 19 degrees. Minus 12 is the normal high for this time of year. 1906, the record for this day, where we reached 3.9 degrees. Tonight we drop down to minus 25, partly cloudy. Minus 19 Wednesday and Thursday. Sunshine or a mix of sun and cloud. Friday too. And then we jump up 10 degrees just in time for the weekend. Merrily a high both days, Saturday, Sunday. Cloudy, but still a high of minus 9.
Thanks, Colleen. The work of Manitoba filmmakers is now available for the world to view.
I became aware that Winnipeg filmmakers were very talented.
The Manitoba Documentary Archive YouTube channel is designed to create opportunities and new audiences for local filmmakers. Since quietly going online in November, it's garnered more than 2,000 subscribers and 100,000 views, many of which are international. The channel currently features 15 Manitoba-made documentaries with plans to expand.
There's many great films that have been created by documentary filmmakers in Winnipeg and Manitoba over the last 20-25 years that really, once they run their course, they don't have a place to live.
The channel officially launches tomorrow night at the Park Theatre with a screening of 3 short documentary films when discussions with each of the directors. I'm really excited to learn about this. I love documentaries,
cool.
And especially local ones.
Yeah.
Check it out.
Good for them. Yeah, no, it looks great.
I'm sure it's going to be popular.
Yeah.
All right, that does it for us tonight. Have a great evening. Stay safe. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Good night.